My name is TJ. My dad died of overdose on January 1st, 2011, and my mom is a recovering addict. God helped my mom, and now together we are here to help you. Now let's talk recovery. Here's your host, my mom, Susan Sexton-Wood.
Hi, and welcome to Let's Talk Recovery. I am your host, Susan Sexton-Wood. Today, our co-host is Debbie Lahman. Debbie is the president of Unchained Praise's board, and she does spend about 10 hours with me working in the office, and she loves that. Our guest, I said a joke. Our guest is TJ Johnson. TJ is my son. He is the voice that you hear at the beginning of the segment, and he just has grown so much in the last 4 years. God laid on my heart to just have him on the show and to share with you what's been going on in his life. So welcome, Debbie and TJ.
Hi.
What's up?
One thing that TJ has is definitely he has humor. And he is a teenager now. He's 13. I received my custody back in December of 2013. The papers for my custody was restored on December the 3rd of 2013, and I picked him up on December the 19th of 2013. So we just shared our 4th year of being back together. TJ has lost his father due to overdose, and because of my own addiction, he had to live with a family member for 2.5 years. One thing that we try to show is that addiction affects everyone. It's not just the person that struggles with addiction, but it is the family members and it is the children that struggle because of their parents' struggle. And so I want to just have TJ share what's been going on in his life these past few months. When we first started the Let's Talk Recovery show, TJ was on the first 2 segments at the beginning. And so what's been going on in your life, TJ?
So, my life has been progressing a lot more because how it used to be, like my dad passed away of overdose. So then I went away from you. Then my life, I just thought that I just got used to calling Della my mom because I wasn't with you. Then soon after, when I got back with you, now I learned so many things. I learned how to swim, ride a bike, other things I don't remember. And then now, this year, my mom, when you get off of probation, we're going to see my dad's grave.
For those of you who don't know in depth my story, in 2013, after a relapse, I started reaching out for help again to pick myself back up. And during that time, I learned that the state of Kentucky had charged me with another charge. And so I had to turn myself in and face the consequences of my past. And so I use the story that comes with that charge to help other people realize that even though we choose recovery, the things that we did in our past may still come back to haunt us. And so we have to take responsibility for those, for what we did. And so out of that charge in 2013, I was sentenced to 5 years probation. And so September the 24th, which is also TJ's birthday, I was sentenced in 2013. So it is 5 years this September the 24th of 2013. And one of the things that we had talked about is when TJ's dad passed away, he's from Michigan, and so his family sent for his body. And the one thing that we haven't been able to do together is to go visit his dad's grave. And so his dad has been gone now 7 years this past January 1st. And that is one of our goals right after I get finished and right after his birthday, that we're going to go and we're going to visit his dad's grave, which also is going to be a yearly thing. And he said that he would like to do it right around his birthday time. And so we're going to do that. And I think what that tells me is we continue to grow together and change together. And life isn't perfect, but we get to do it together. And so I think we're excited about that trip. And TJ is going to get to see some family members that he really hasn't seen but a few times, and he probably doesn't remember because he was so young. And so as our story continues to grow, we just implement some new things, and we let go of some things too. And so we get to let go of one big thing this year, and that's huge.
It sure is.
See, that was me almost getting ready to cry, but I caught myself.
I keep telling you it is okay to cry.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
So,
I know that I have seen a lot of growth in TJ. Well, obviously, he was much younger and he's much older now. But the one thing that brings that I'm thinking about is when you first started Unchained Praises, and TJ, you were pretty excited about that. Did you enjoy when your mom first talked to you about what was going to be happening with Unchained Praises?
Yeah, I was really excited at the time. I just always have flashbacks that when we are at Unchained Praises, I have the flashbacks of me and my mom setting up chairs at the beginning. It was just me and her. And then now it's like me, her, tons of volunteers, and people helping us.
Does it make you happy?
Of course it does.
Good,
I help
good,
people.
good, good. Do you have any of your friends at school that may have been in the same position you were? Do you ever get to talk to any of your friends about those who may have parents that are in addiction? Do they ever talk to you?
I mean, like, I just hear it sometimes in the hallways, but I never get anybody come to me and talk about it.
Do you tell them about what goes on with Unchained Praises at all? Is it anything you get to share?
Everybody in the school knows, because when my mother came, like, almost all the 7th, 8th, 6th graders know me.
What did they think about that? That was your mom. Did they think that was pretty awesome, or?
They never gave me their opinion, so I got
Oh.
no idea.
No idea.
Nope.
Oh.
no opinions could be good sometimes.
That's true. That's true. That's true. So you have a little larger family now?
Yep.
You want to share that?
Is that-
Not so much?
I guess I will. So now my mom finally, after like a year and a half of me being back with her, which website did you get on?
We're not going to share that.
Well, she got on his website, and then she met somebody, and he went to our church, and then a year later, they're married, and then now I got tons of cousins and other things. Instead of being like that, it's like that.
You have somebody else in the house too, though,
Yeah.
besides a cousin who's not in the house.
Yeah, I got a sister,
A sister.
and I pick on her a lot because she's younger than me, and I've always been the youngest child. Revenge.
Oh. Because you also have two brothers
Yes.
that live here?
Yeah. But I don't see them that much anymore.
Right, right. But they're older, and so they picked on you, did they?
Yep.
So you think it's time that you should be able to do that with your sister?
But I don't do everything.
Oh.
Like, I'm not able to do what my brother Derek did because he popped all my toes at the same time. And I can't do that to her.
Well, I'm sure Lyric is very happy that you can't do that. So what is some of your favorite things about Unchained Praises?
One of my favorite things is how there's a lot of different people coming out to Unchained Praises and speaking and giving their opinions and things that happen to their life. And I love how I get to go out there and sometimes I get to sing, speak. I just love it.
That's great. So you still sing?
Not that much anymore.
Oh, good. But you enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Good. So who did you sing with?
Danny.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah.
And then now, like for a whole year, I just sung by myself.
We should have had you sing today.
Oh, that ain't gonna happen. Not on TV.
Oh, goodness.
Why not?
No.
No?
No different than singing in front of people.
Can I have glasses that completely I can't see out of them, and they can't see my eyes?
And these are glasses that you have to wear?
No, he's saying if he sings on the talk show.
Like blind glasses, where I'd just be like, can't see nothing. I would probably do it then.
So what's coming up? You're in 8th grade, and you're planning to take a trip with the school this year.
To Washington, D.C. This is the most excited trip I have. When I was 5th grade, I was so excited to go to Kings Island, but now I'm way more excited to go to Washington.
What are you looking forward to seeing in Washington, D.C.?
The Capitol, they even said I'm going to be able to dissect a squid on the beach. It's going to be fun.
Okay.
And like at the hotels, we're allowed to go to the swimming pool, but we have to be in our rooms at 10. And then there's other stuff that I don't remember, but I'll get reminded.
I bet you will. I bet you will. So how are you having, you've been a part of some of the peer support groups that your mom has done, haven't you?
Yes.
And was that with other kids about your age or older, or is it a
Every single
mix?
one of them is pretty much older. Sometimes I have like 2 kids, or like 1, but it's mostly all adults.
How did those go? What do you do at a peer support group?
All I usually do, sometimes I just sit there and do nothing because Mom tells me to, or sometimes I speak, and then like me and Mom like switch, pretty much. Like she'll speak
Are you
for a
talking
little.
about speaking
I'll speak.
engagements, or when we did the peer support group with teens? She asked about the peer support group that we've done, Unchained Praises.
No. I'm confused.
Well, because there's many times that you go to support groups with me and we actually speak, but it's another organization that we go and speak.
So we're talking about the only one that we have, which is the teen one that
Yeah,
I've been at.
Yeah.
that we used to do.
Yeah.
And what am I supposed to explain?
Tell me.
Well,
I haven't been to one, so tell me what do you do?
Well, we don't do it anymore because people thought it was too rough or whatever. I don't know why. They just did. And what we always did was, as soon as we started, we all talked, and about half the time, they had food. Sometimes they didn't. We got to eat.
That was the rough part.
The eating was the rough part.
Not having food sometimes.
Oh
Yes.
well. Yeah.
And that's mostly it.
What do you talk about?
Like things that can help us get better grip of God and for us not to do drugs.
Okay. You know.
So if there's some parents that may be watching this show, what could you say to them if they're struggling in active addiction and they have kids?
I thought you were talking about like kids, but this is parents.
Yeah, if a parent is watching and they're struggling in addiction and you've been a child that has had to live with family because of your parents' addiction and you've lost someone due to addiction, what could you say to them to help them not want to use?
Get more in touch with God. Try to reach out. There's a number of her number. Call it. See if you're like anywhere in Indiana area. She could come visit you, speech therapy, whatever. And it could help you on the road to recovery.
Yeah. What could you say if there's a kid watching and they don't know what to do because of their parent that may be using? What could you say to them, things that could help them know that their parents can change?
Okay. So the first thing you do, if you know that your parents are doing it and you're not saying anything, you're already doing the wrong thing. You have to try to speak to them. If they won't do it, try to get, I don't know, call her. Yeah, do that again. I don't know what else though.
Well, what kind of things did you learn that people can do to get better?
Go through unchained praises, God more.
They could always go to a church and ask them for help.
Church, friends that are not in addiction that can help you if they're good friends, family, because you do not want to lose your family. Yeah.
So this year, what's a goal for this year for you?
One of my goals is for me to be a better family member, for me to help more people out, and for me, one of my goals is to raise my grades up a lot, because I have one F, D minus. They gotta become C minuses, then a B, and then stay at a B.
So you know why you got that kind of grade?
Because I missed 2 tests.
From when you was sick?
No, I just failed them.
Didn't know that the show was gonna have you called out on your grades.
I don't know. You guys were
God
the one
does
asking me the
mysterious
questions.
things, huh?
You guys were asking me the questions.
Well, one of the goals when we've talked about your grades is you have to learn what's going on and get better, right?
Yep, and I already know I'm going to be grounded this week.
This week, do you get your report card this week?
Oh, if it comes on the next week. Okay, next week. I know I'm grounded. Right away, you'd be like, you grounded. Just don't worry. As soon as that report card comes, say, report card's here, I'll be grounded for a week. No game.
He gets his
No,
own
nothing.
time that he gives himself.
Yep.
At least you get to be grounded from your mom that's clean and sober, huh? That's
Yeah.
always a plus.
There you go. So, TJ, where you've mentioned a couple of times when your mom mentioned, what would you tell somebody who is in active addiction, or a child or a friend of yours or whatever who has a parent in active addiction? And each of those times you mentioned about God.
Yeah.
How important is that?
It's really important because if I didn't know God, I would probably be cussing a lot, disrespecting my parents more, failing grades a lot because there's a lot of things going on in my school. And I could be doing the same exact thing if I wasn't a Christian.
So you're a Christian.
Yes.
That's great. Does that help you?
More now that I believe in Jesus Christ and all that, I feel like I could do anything. Except for my grades. Just kidding.
Well, if you could do anything, you think that you might be able to work on the grades then?
I believe I can.
I believe you can too.
Yeah, and he's taken steps to do that.
Yeah.
There's some medical issues that we've had to look at
Sure.
that's interrupted his grades, and so we're
So
taking
can we
the
talk about
precautions.
something else?
What would you like to talk about?
You guys asking the question.
Well, you just said you didn't want us to.
Well,
What's
that's my-
one thing that you do with the church? Our church is
Yeah.
Hillcrest Baptist Church. So what are you currently involved in
I'm involved with.
that helps give back to the community?
I just think about that. Nothing.
What did you do with your dad
What
on Saturdays and Thursdays?
What did I do on Saturdays and Thursdays?
What do you do on Thursday after school,
CR.
before CR? When you and your dad go to Hillcrest?
Oh,
gym.
yeah, okay. So I'm a coach, assistant coach, but last game I was the actual coach because he was sick.
Wow.
I feel like a man. What do we do
And what are
on
you coaching?
Saturdays?
Yeah,
What are you
what's it
coaching?
called?
Is it football? Is it?
It's basketball.
Oh,
Upward.
basketball. Wow. So would you recommend that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
Good.
into sports. Toughen up.
Tough. Okay. What's your favorite sport?
Basketball.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
And would you say that Upward is it's Christian basketball, and so there's a lot of churches that try to come together to promote that. But at Hillcrest Baptist Church, there's a couple that oversees the Upward sports, and there's a lot of games on Saturday. And so what TJ does is him and his dad coach Upward basketball. And 3 years prior, he actually played in Upward basketball.
For 3 years.
I thought he played
And
in
I was
basketball.
undefeated for 3 years. My team came up on top.
No, the first year
I mean,
you learned how to play basketball,
Yeah,
because
but
before, when I didn't have you, you didn't even know how to play.
We were still undefeated. I made no shots. Second year, still undefeated. Made about 2 shots. Then third year comes around. I make about 15 shots. And we're still undefeated.
But what does that show? That shows
Growth.
that Upward is
Growth.
a good
0,
Yes.
2, 15.
But Upward is a good thing, that it is Christian basketball. The coaches actually, they help teach you. They pray with you at practice. You get to earn stars. And so now this is the 4th year, and now you're being assistant coach because basketball is your favorite and you believe in Upward.
Yep. I mean, I wouldn't be an assistant coach if I made the team.
You're too old to play Upward now.
No, if I wouldn't have made the team for my school.
Then you'd be playing basketball at
Uh-huh.
your school.
They have a thing against little people, I swear. There's a little guy way better than me, better than about 3 people on the team. Every little guy got kicked off. Everybody that's like 5'5" and taller got onto the team.
Well, and that goes back to Upward. One thing about Upward is everybody
all
makes
sizes,
the team,
all men,
right?
everybody.
Everybody gets a chance to play. And so it's different than school basketball, where it goes by,
It only picks 12 or 15 members.
but it goes by how you can play. Upward, you get to play and have fun regardless if you're real good at it.
Yep.
Yeah, so that shows the
But
Christianity.
the favorite part about Upward, even if you don't like basketball or anything, but you're still having a little fun, wait to the very end where they have the show. That was my favorite part.
The halftime.
No, the show at the when Upward is completely finished.
Oh, yeah, because what happens then?
Then they have like people come in. My first year they had this like basketball guy. Then the second year they had this magic trick guy. Third year they had a magic trick comedian guy. I don't know what they're having this year.
Because it's not over yet.
It's not even close. Still got 4 games.
So what's your favorite thing about church?
That people become Christians.
That you watch people change?
Yeah, get baptized and saved.
So are you involved with the youth group at Hillcrest?
Yes, but I'm not like super involved where I go to people's houses and all that. But I do go to camp, a Christian camp.
How's that?
Well, we learn mostly about God. We have like 2 services. Some are I was about to say 100 hour. An hour. Then we have some for an hour and 15, and it's prior the time. It doesn't matter what time you have to wake up. There's a certain bedtime. Lights have to be out. I think it's great.
Cool.
I have a lot of time.
Cool.
I remember last year, one of my friends, he said something, and then now, like how he was all grumpy and everything, and now he's just changed.
And that's what God does to us.
You should
Changes us.
put that logo on Chain Praises. Change yourself.
Yeah.
Could be the new logo, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank Debbie for co-hosting and TJ for taking the time to sit and talk to us. When our lives start to change, when we become a Christian and we choose recovery, our life starts to change. And one thing that we may forget about sometimes in active addiction is our children. But we're reminded in recovery that they're a big part of our life and their lives also change. As I've been changing in my recovery, and I'll have 5 years, March the 19th, TJ also has changed. And he gets to experience things that he never has experienced. And he gets to do things that he never would have gotten to do if I was in active addiction. He has started to build his own life and to see what is right and wrong and to give back. He already gives back at 13 years old, and he's been doing that since he was 9. And so if you are someone out there struggling in addiction and you have children, we want to encourage you to look at your life and to see that your addiction is affecting more than just yourself. It affects your children also. And we want to embed in our kids' lives good things instead of the bad things that come along with addiction. By watching our children grow in recovery brings a new meaning to life. I can remember one of the times right when I got custody back of TJ, and then I lost my custody. I didn't have him for 2.5 years. And when I got him back, he was laughing about something, and I can remember just stopping and thinking, the laugh. It's something that we don't cherish things like that in active addiction. We're constantly under the influence or trying to get the drug or dealing with sickness when it comes to addiction, that you don't see your own kids smile or pay attention to the grades. He has a mother that is in recovery, and I pay attention to the grades today. Watching him just love other people, and he says that he wants to help other people. And I know today, if I hadn't chose recovery, then his life would be way different today, and mine would be drastically different in active addiction. And so as you choose recovery and change, then you learn how to become a better parent. You learn how to do the right thing instead of the wrong thing. And it's something that you learn to embrace and take. You don't take things for granted like you used to. And so we want to thank you for joining us on Let's Talk Recovery. We will have TJ back on the show as he continues to grow. We want to keep you in touch with TJ and the way that his life has changed because his mother chose recovery. But it doesn't take the effects of the pain of him losing his father. And so as TJ said, reach out for help, and don't forget that God is the answer. And if you just trust in him and call on him to help you, that amazing things can happen. Your children can be a part of the church and a part of your new life in recovery. Take the time to reach out for help. Thank you for visiting us on Let's Talk Recovery.